You know, guys, it feels like the end of an era, right? It does. It feels like the beginning of 2013 was yesterday. Because 6 years ago is when we got the very first reveal of the PlayStation 4. A reveal that at the time I thought would be completely overshadowed, completely outrun, completely decimated by whatever the hell it was Xbox was going to bring next. And the reason for this was because at the time I was a huge 360 bro. You know what I mean? Like totally in the 360. And the PS3, for all of its triumphs in regard to being a good media player, it had issues when it came to games. And of course, the Xbox very much kicked its ass. That all changed E3 a few months down the road when Microsoft bungled it and Sony completely picked it up, completely ran with it, and completely owned the entire situation. And that was one of the reasons that got me to pick up a PS4 at launch versus an Xbox One. I was all set to get the Xbox One at launch, and then I went to E3, or I watched the E3 conferences, and I saw that the PlayStation just had the better lineup, the better selection, and overall the better pro gamer aspect. And I was totally on board with that. And here it is 5 years later, and I still love my PS4. In fact, I'm just now in the marketplace to buy a new controller after my one from 2014 is starting to go dead. That is how much I played the PS4, and it brings some sadness to me. It does. It brings a little bit of sadness to look at this report from IGN that says Sony is reportedly shifting first-party development onto the PS5, saying PS5 dev kits are out there, and I've heard positive things about them. Yeah, Sony is ready. I don't know if I am. If I'm being honest with you guys, I don't know if I'm ready for the PlayStation 5. I feel there's so much life left in the PS4. I feel that there's so much with the PS4 that I haven't played yet. I haven't even dove into PSVR predominantly because I haven't wanted to put up the money investment to get into it. Although, was it Firewatch 0 Hour, whatever the hell that game is, looks amazing. And I've been tempted to put down the cash to get it at some point in time, but I'm not ready. There's so many games I haven't played. And I know I very much am a person who looks to the future when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm very much a person that looks to what the future of gaming is going to bring, right? I don't play a lot of retro games, but can you look at the PS4's lifespan and say anything about it's really retro? You can't. You really can't. Anyway, it says here, Sony is apparently having its first-party studios focus on PlayStation 5 game development, but we may not see the fruits of that labor for some time. Industry analyst Daniel Ahmad, who had previously reported inside information ahead of official confirmation, took to Reset Era to explain that, in general, most of the focus for Sony's first-party studios is on PS5 right now. It is still too early to talk about the next gen, but I imagine we'll hear some whispers come out of GDC. He added that the PS5 dev kits are out there and that he's heard good things. Okay, so are we anywhere near the announcement of a PlayStation 5? Probably not. But on average, I mean, looking at a console's lifespan, we're kind of at that point. You know, it's been 6 years this month since the announcement of the PS4. The game has come out, or the system came out, and completely decimated everything. It's still the number one selling console. Well, not last year, that went to the Switch, but it's overall the number one selling console. It's still moving units. People are still discovering it, still getting into the excellent selection of exclusive single-player games that I feel Sony has really hit the ground with in 2018, and 2019 looks to be no different. But at the same time, where could they really take it? And this is a question that I think a lot of gamers have had, is where could they take the next consoles? Have they kind of hit that peak? But then again, we also kind of say that every console generation, you know, there were people that said that about the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Where are they going to go? Oh my God, there's nowhere to go but up. I mean, as long as every game hits 1080 60, what's going to be the next benchmark? 4K 120? I mean, that is probably going to be it. The better speed, or the greater frames per second, the processing power, all those sort of things is probably where it's going to go. But is it going to peak in regards to graphics? And that I don't know. I'm sure they're going to be able to do something. I'm sure they're definitely going to grow upon it. And VR is probably going to be where they tend to focus. Which, you know, it saddens me to an extent. Because this also, by the way, with looking at the end of the PS4, also kind of brings about the thought process about the end of the PS Vita. And even though the Vita itself has basically kind of been irrelevant for years, they really did try 5 years ago to inject new life into the Vita by trying to do the PS4 share, being able to link to the system to be able to play remotely. The fact that it worked, and it does work, it still works to this day. People still use it to this day. Tried to bring new life to the system. And here's the thing with the PS Vita. It's a solid, competent system on its own that just didn't happen to hold up to the Nintendo 3DS. And that's also a sad thing. Reading the news that the first-party developers are now looking at PS5. They're already developing the PS5. They're already trying to... Well, actually, here, it says here, Sony has officially confirmed that it's begun work on creating a PS5, and several third-party publishers, including Square Enix, Bethesda, and Activision, are openly working on next-gen games. In fact, 18% of developers are actively developing for the next console generation. So it's true. I mean, we know it's coming, but it's getting closer and closer and closer. Will we hear anything at E3? Will they go up on stage during their press conference and say, we're working on the PS5? Probably not, because they still have a lot of things coming down the pipeline in regards to the PS4. But if you go back, if you go back 6 years, right, and you look at the unveiling of the PlayStation 4, we still had a pretty big game on the horizon. That would be The Last of Us. This arguably the swan song of the PS3, a game that is still amazing to this day. But that game came out in June of 2013, only a few months before the PS4, and then a year later they had remastered it for the PS4. And it's, I think, arguably way better on the PS4, and it still has a very dedicated multiplayer-based community 5 years or almost 5 years on. So Sony's got the market, they've got the people, they've got the fans. I don't know if I'm ready to invest into the next setup yet. And this is where I'm envious of the PCMR, because you guys, I mean, ultimately you guys kind of have the best idea with it, right? It's like, you don't need to upgrade everything all at once. You can upgrade your RAM, you can upgrade your processor, you can upgrade your hard drive or your GPU. You can kind of mix and match how you want to Frankenstein your machine to be able to play the latest and greatest. I play consoles predominantly because I just prefer the experience over my PC. I'm on my PC working right now. This is my life. I don't want to, I don't want to game here. I don't want to live everywhere in this bubble. I like being able to go out. But I envy you guys because you're able to just pick and choose on that front, whereas we console peasants have to deal with the every half decade or so upgrade of technology, which is a pretty decent investment. My question is, though, will the PS5 have backwards compatibility? What about my library of games? I have a vast library of PS4 games. Will those be able to transfer over as well? Or will I just need to upgrade to the PS4 Pro and then keep that as a secondary machine to run on the side? Or will this not even be coming out for the next couple of years? I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on it. If you made it this far in the video, do me a favor, type in PS5 in the chat so I know you guys made it. And while you're at it, toss a like on the video. Help me out with that front. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Since you're here, why don't leave a comment? Let me know what you think about stuff. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do that as well. You check out any of these great, fantastic, amazing commentary tracks by me. That's right. I'm not egotistical or narcissistic at all. I'm just your average, everyday, normal YouTuber. Thanks for watching.